Vincenzo'S Go Crypto Investing this July the 11th, 2025, noontime daily blockchain technology, cryptocurrencies, gold and silver bullion update. Bell notification, comment down below, like the channel and share to get that truth, trust, education, and information. And you can see some of the Bitcoins did pump significantly today as the Bitcoin price got near 120,000 earlier today. Ethereum was up to 3,000, and XLM and XRP went to their regional blow off tops recently. And you can see the XLM price not only caught up to XRP, but actually exceeded it. And what we were talking about the other day, after it broke back up from down below the 25 cents, we said if it got back above the 25 cents and held the three moving averages right here, your next pump would be to the 31 cents and then potentially the 33 to the 36 cents, which was the top part of this green support and resistance box, and see how quick it traded through it. And you can see three of the tracks out of the four had a consolidating to the upside, and you can see now it is in the mean of these. And then now two of the tracks now show a consolidation for a few months before the next leg of this bull market, right? So it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out with XLM. Something that we were talking about, that we might not get to the 18 cents, but at the very least, it was still a great call, an industry first and first mover advantage call from Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing up here at 63 cents. And we couldn't stress enough for 3.5 months, and especially the first 6 weeks up here, that if you never bought XLM or you were looking to accumulate more, at 63 cents was not the time. There would be an extended better buying opportunity, and at between 68% down and 58% down. So between 20 cents and 27 cents, with a mean of about 25 cents, you could have bought your first XLM or accumulated onto your bag that you bought from however long you've been accumulating and what your bag is currently at. And that was a much better area to accumulate than way up here, right? Nobody knows where the bottom is. Nobody knows where the top is. But after a massive pump like that, it is never a great time to buy. Uh, as this would have been a much better time to just slowly steady accumulate. And now it's pumping. And now you don't buy. Now you wait to see where this goes. But the weekly volume, you can see, did break the streak. And actually, as we close this week, you can see it's our first green weekly candle in 2, 4, 6 weeks. And it's the biggest volume we've had in 8 weeks. So that's very bullish, a sign there. And it'll be very interesting to see if it can continue that next week and have some follow through. And maybe, just maybe, we can make a run up here to this 80 cent level uh, later on this summer. So it's going to get very interesting with some of the coins. Something else to get very interesting is you can support the channel by becoming a Jabroni Killer member. Video description and/or pinned comment for as little as $3.99 a month to help support the channel as we grow and you join me and participate on my movement to becoming an asset millionaire via gold and silver bullion and mining stocks, 401k steady investing, cryptocurrencies, real estate, and cash on the side for peace of mind, emergencies, and to buy or accumulate existing assets or buy a new asset, right? And that's what the cash is there, and have it in a money market account, earning 3 to 5% interest. And then you can utilize that capital whenever you need it, whether you need a roof, a furnace, a car, or you want to buy a new real estate property or invest more in the stock market and accumulate, right? So it's very important to do that. And we do it with truth, trust, education, and information. Day's almost over, bro. Till we get high on lunch. Getting high on my own supply. So if we continue to move along here, what were we talking about? We were rambling there. Uh, truth, trust, and education, and that's the way that I invest. And I only show you what I am investing in and currently doing. And these are the things that I invest in, but we could see, and that's the reason to support the channel, and it's there for the retail trader. But another thing that we put a Jabroni Killer got the first mover advantage a couple of weeks ago. You can go back and look at my post and it did double, triple down, where we now have $4,300 is our current position in platinum. We did accumulate more the other day. We talked about it on the video, and it is up now 6.41% today. And I think we're in the midst of a massive explosion. And I've went over this, and that's why old Vincenzo and I believe you should buy real assets that are real assets that appreciate with an inflationary and a depreciating dollar, right? An inflationary environment along with a depreciating dollar, which we've had for 50 years. And now it's just the last 15, 20 years went completely off the rails. And since COVID, it's just they don't even pretend anymore. And I think we're about to have another boom. Palladium is a rare metal, rarer than gold, and usually always is more expensive than gold, right? It's usually a higher price than gold. Or that's platinum's usually a higher price than gold. And palladium recently became a higher price than gold when we had a big boom. But the thing about palladium is it's very rare. It's much more rare and harder to get than platinum and gold. And the areas that the platinum and palladium, specifically palladium, comes out of is a highly tense geopolitical region. And that has a major short-term supply and demand where it can force the price up. And that's what started happening along with other things during the palladium and platinum bull market from 2016 to about 2000 and early 2022, 2021, before we had a 3-year bear market, is Russia and South Africa, two highly tense and politically charged regions. Uh, Obviously, the whole Russia thing is always politically charged, and especially right now as they invaded with their war. And that's where this had its blow off top 2019, 2020, during the height of that war when it started, when he was invading Ukraine, right? And then we had the big sell off. But I believe now you can see we've just breached the COVID high. I started talking about this on here a few months ago, as it was last year. We talked about it here, then it traded back down. I should have pulled the trigger down here. I didn't, mistake, but I did not pull the trigger, and then I did not go on a pretty good position. And I believe now that this is going to come up to our next target now that we've broken the COVID high. I believe it's following platinum. And I think we are immediately coming up to this next upper resistance, which is 25 to 54% up between about $1,600 and $1,900. And you can see the area that I'm targeting is this area, this major upper resistance, the last consolidation zone. So I think there's a 25 to 50% move from here incoming quickly. And you can see it happening quickly with the price in the last uh, 8, 9, about 10 weeks. In platinum, it's up 45%. And this week alone, it's up about 18%. So I think it's going to be a good play, but that is something else and another real asset that I bought. If we look at why is that in there? Oh, that's gold. If we look at the XRP, that also did have a significant blow off. And what we were talking about yesterday, if it was holding support like it was, that our next upper resistance was 255, and then if it could break that, the 302 was the next area. And look at that. We blew through essentially in the last 24 hours. And something else that we were talking about on both sides of this candlestick, where we were trading on resistance for several months and support below it, is if you broke that, it would have a big, massive jump and pump, because see how quickly that volume blows off. And that's exactly what happened. It went up about, I don't know, 35, 40% over the last 24 to 48 hours because the volume dies off the same way as if we would have broke the major underneath support, it would have dropped off just that quick because you can see the volume peels off the same way. And now we almost came up to the 302. We wicked up to 297 at current price. It looks like we're around 270, 260, but the price is moving quickly. So it's going to be changing depending on when you're looking at it, because obviously when you've had a pump in the last 24 to 36 hours of, what does that say? Ah, 32%, there's going to be a lot of movement. So these prices that I'm saying on here, especially the cryptos, will change when you watch this versus what I'm talking about now, because it's a live chart that I'm looking at. But now what I would look at here is on the retest, if it comes all the way down, the 255 now becomes your major short-term underneath support. You'd want to see it hold that and consolidate along it, and that'd be a very healthy consolidation. And then if you hold that, consolidate, doesn't have to be a long consolidation. Your next pump would be to take out the 302 and then trade between the 302 and the previous swing high of 340. So that's your critical bullish support level now is the 256. We're going to look at that as a major support level now. And if it comes down to retest it, that is your major support level to retest and to hold the bullish momentum, right? And you can see, obviously, you've had bullish cross, or have we had it? Yes, we've either had it or they're tied. Nope, we've had it. Where the 50 obviously has got ahead of the 100. The 200 is moving up very fast, which I would expect. So that's what I'm going to look for this weekend. If the pump is settling down now, unless it's going to continue and go up another 30 or 40% today, because when they're screaming off pumps, you just never know. But if it's going to be in consolidation, that would be the 256 is what I would like to see it hold to continue bullish. And then on the pump side, if it's going to continue pumping now, get on top of the 302 and start using that as major support if the pump continues, right? If we look at the AMP, this might be the time AMP maybe does something. It's the only coin that hasn't done anything, right? In the last all these random pumps, right? But right now we've held support, and this would make sense. Held support, held support, held support, held support. And I did buy it because I am down on the position right now, 28%, because I've been accumulating down. I did buy another $968 very early this morning uh, because the crypto market, I thought maybe this might be the time, right? But you can see right now we've held it, and what we're looking to do here now is get on top of these moving averages, just like all the other XRP and XLM did, which is about a 28% move. Hold the 200-day up there in the daily, and then maybe this could be where you have a big, massive pump where you get back up here and retest this major upper resistance that would be sitting there because you had that consolidation there and that consolidation there in the same area. So that would be a major upper resistance. But from the current price, that's a pretty significant pump. And this would put me in pretty significant profit. This would be a 1x move from there, right? So that would be from where we're at now, a 1x move. And that's something that could absolutely happen. And potentially, I believe at some point in the future, and our track does show it, but our track has been right, how it showed back here that we needed a lot longer to consolidate. And you see it right where we're at now. This is right where one track has already bottomed. The other track has already bottomed. And now this looks like it might be bottom. And now the track's saying we should start to shoot up. And if the track is correct and it starts to shoot up in 30 days from now, or 30 to 60 days from now, we're sitting somewhere over there above the price or on the price. We know this thing's on track, and we're likely to come between my target that I've had since late November of last year and December of between 2.5 to 5 cents, because this is one that I'm accumulating for the long term. And I now have a quadrillion of these coins. I got, I think, a million of them. Let's see if that would add up. Point zero, point zero zero, say 4 or 5 is my average price, 2 times 1 million. Eh, that might be about right. I don't know what my average price is because I'm not looking at it, but I know I'm down 20 per, oh, 0.04. Oh, did I do 0.004? Yeah. So that would have been like 0.004, but the price is different on the site that I have. But I got somewhere between 850,000 and a million of these coins. And I believe, because you guys know, I've been talking about this too. I think at some point, and this is one coin at the very least, even though it's slowly trending down slightly the last couple of years, since this came out, the mean of the volume is still uptrending. Even though it's cooled off, it's still uptrending. So there's more volume coming in than there was at the beginning. So that tells me that could be interesting. Either it's everybody selling out, or there's been a lot of accumulation down here, because you can see this is where we've had some nice green volume spikes, a lot of accumulation down here towards the bottom. And I think this is one of the coins. I don't know a lot about it. I just have a feeling about it that will come retest eventually if you have the patience, maybe 6 months from now, maybe 16 months from now, 2026, 2027, like our track shows. But I do believe we will retest an all-time high in this. And from the current price to the all-time high, that is a 31x move. So let's just say you have, I think I got about 4 grand in it. So say it went up 31x and you never sold. You just cashed in at $124,000, right? So, but I don't know if I would hold that long. I would hold some of it, but if we got up into here, obviously I'd probably start to take profit because you got to take profit if you're up 5, 10x. But I do believe this coin is one that will jump up. So I'm very interested to watch that. Algo is another one that made a major move, something that we were talking about the last several days and what it needed to do in the bullish case. It did do, and you can see right now you're actually above the 200-day moving average now. You got the 200 moving up, the 50 is gonna, or the 100 moving up, the 50 is gonna move up even quicker. You came all the way up and notice where it came up to the upper resistance, just at that bottom part of the next support and resistance box, which starts clone, which starts at the 24 cents and ends at the 36 cents, just as this 18 and a half or 19 and a half cents was a major resistance level when it broke by it. We said if it broke by that and got on the moving averages, this would be your next major resistance. Now the key is, do we consolidate down? And if we consolidate, as long as you stay on top of the 50-day moving average, that's a very bullish consolidation. Even if it came all the way back in an immediate short term to the 20-cent level, 18-cent level, that's very bullish because it's still above the 200-day. Then you would look to reload now, and you got to breach this 24 cents. You shoot up into it, hold a quick support, and then rocket to the top side. That's what you're looking at in the bullish scenario this weekend, or if it's going to maintain bullishness, right? Uh, After it had this double bottom, XCN had a phenomenal pump, and you can see it did exactly the same thing. They all did their bullish things. This thing held the 200-day moving average down there at 0.01, started to fight its way up, shot straight through the 0.014, blew past the 50 and 100-day moving average, wicked all the way up. Now it's come down, and now all it needs to do is, as it relaxes after that massive pump, is hold the 0.0149 and you're bullish. It can come all the way back down and do this, and you're still very bullish. You just need to hold this top part of this blue trading zone, and then you can rock it up. And if you do rock it up, your next major upper resistance would be the mean of this traded area, right about there. This whole area right here is your next major upper resistance, and that's why this wick a few months ago in June, or this wick just now, uh, got held as resistance, because that's your next major upper resistance to fight through. And if you fight through that, you'll come all the way back up very quickly to 0.02317, an area that you got rejected by 3 times. Actually, four. There was one, two, three, four, right? So this has been a very exciting day. I'm at work. I couldn't make a video last night. I didn't get home till 9:30 from work. So I'll give you a better update tonight. It's going to be a later update. I'm not getting home again unless it's raining when I get off this job. Um, but if it's not raining and I work, an update will be out probably around 9 o'clock. Like the channel, I appreciate all of my beautiful members and audience that have been with me since the very beginning, and especially my jabroni killers and all the commenters and the sharers and anybody that contributes to the station. Peace and love, direct eyebrow, Jay.